My name is Scott Brady, and I am the publisher of Overland Journal and the founder of ExpeditionPortal.com, and we are out here at the Mid-Atlantic Overland Festival. Overlanding is vehicle-supported adventure travel. I think it's really important to differentiate between what's recreational four-wheel driving, which is a version of sport, and travel, which is what overlanding is. The goal is travel. The goal is not vehicle obstacles or the vehicle itself. Certainly, recreational four-wheel driving involves a journey as well, but the primary goal with overland travel is to experience the cultures and the nature along the way. In my opinion, overland travel is one of the best forms of travel, and it isn't so much important if it's a truck or a motorcycle, but the reason why it's important is it allows you to see everything between point A and point Z. One of the realities with fly-in travel is that you really get this kind of scripted experience. You come into a big city and you rent a car and you go to this place and this place and this place. The reality of overland travel is you cross a border and you experience everything from the border to that big city. You experience the small towns and the off the beaten path experiences that you would normally not see along the way. I've been asked a lot about what it means to travel internationally. People have a misconception about the security of traveling internationally. They want to know, is it safe to go to Baja? The answer is absolutely yes. You got to go now. The one universal truth is that people are almost always good and governments are almost always screwed up. So that's really the truth that we take from it. The conversations that we have about politics and everything in the US, everybody else is having the same conversation about their politicians and the country that they're from. But universally, people are great. People are warm and welcoming and inviting. In fact, the most warm and welcoming and inviting border crossing that I've ever had was in a Muslim country going into Uzbekistan, where I felt like I was truly a guest of their country. Training is always critical. In fact, I love a saying that the Maasai warriors have in Kenya, Africa, where they say you carry your experience on your back. And what that means is the more experienced that you are as a traveler, the more comfortable you are as a traveler, the less stuff that you really need in order to achieve the goal. Events like the Mid-Atlantic Overland Festival are really critical for the community because it's an opportunity to bring everyone together in one place, to share stories and to ask questions and to learn about what the other vehicles are and how they modify their trucks and what has worked for one guy and not worked for another. So it really provides an active forum and an organic forum for people to be able to communicate their concerns or their interests or what they want to learn. You can meet with other people that have maybe been to the place that you want to travel, and they can share some little tidbits of information of, hey, go to Baja, but maybe avoid Mexico City. Things like that that you really do need to know so that you have the best possible experience. The most recent trip that I've completed was Expedition 7. It was a project that comprised 3 years of my life. I did it with a friend of mine, Greg Miller, and we went to all 7 continents. We were the first team to take the same vehicle, the same four-wheel drive vehicle, to all 7 continents. We used a Land Cruiser for that, and we were able to circumnavigate the world twice, 56,000 miles. It's an interesting thing for me to look at, having traveled to all 7 continents. Would it attenuate my desire to travel further? In fact, it's only inspired me to travel further. But the one thing that's really changed after Expedition 7 is I want the adventure component to go up. I want the risk to go up. I want the challenge to increase. The more pure the travel is, the less stuff that you have with you, the more that you rely on others, the more opportunities that you have to engage others in the experience, whether it be a local or otherwise. If you've got a huge Unimog with 300 days of supplies and fuel to cross an entire continent, then you have less likelihood of actually experiencing the culture. So I'm finding myself more often traveling on a motorcycle now because it is that much more difficult. You have less stuff with you. You have to rely more on the locals and the local culture and solving problems locally. And I really enjoy that. I enjoy the challenge of travel. So the more that I can introduce the challenge of travel, of course, without too much risk, then that's my goal.